Hello and welcome. You're watching India Today. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Joe Biden took oath as the 46th President of the United States of America. This was the 59th inaugural celebrations. History was made as Kamala Harris took oath as the first woman Vice President of the United States of America. She is also the first woman Vice President of Indian American origin. Joe Biden, of course, is 78 years old. During his inaugural address after the swearing in, he said this was the day of America and of democracy. Joe Biden called upon citizens of his country to fight racism and white supremacy. Kamala Harris scripted history. She was sworn in as the first woman and the first Indian American Vice President. Biden's swearing in ceremony was preceded by performances by celebrities like Jennifer Lopez and Lady Gaga. Joe Biden made it very clear that America will overcome the pandemic, will engage with the world again, and he urged people to cross the divide and treat each other with respect and with dignity.
Restore the soul and secure the future of America requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause. For the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious, democracy is fragile, and at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated US President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. But let's now tell you about the India connection. There were celebrations in Thiruvarur at Thulusendrapuram after Kamala Harris was sworn in. In fact, giant screens were put up at Thulusendrapuram at Thiruvarur. Excitement was in the air. People watched history unfold, and the India Connect was there for all to see. India Today's Gopi Krishnan Unithan files this report from Thiruvarur.
Thulusendrapuram village in Tamil Nadu is witnessing a historic moment. A young lady from here, from this very village, who has roots embedded in this village, is taking oath as the Vice President of the United States of America. As you see in these visuals, Kamala Harris has become the first woman Vice President, the first Afro-American, the first Asian American, if I can be more specific. And you can see the celebration. The people of this village are celebrating. They have kept an arrangement for the people to witness this celebration. They have come out in quite a good number in spite of being a little late in the night. And it's always a pleasure to watch a woman who has her roots in this village taking oath as the Vice President of the United States. Maybe I'll try and get in a word from one of the persons. Excuse me, sir. I can see you are rejoicing. How does it feel to see Kamala Harris taking oath as a deputy or the Vice President?
I am more excited. The entire village is excited. Our one of family member become a Vice President, first woman Vice President. That woman of color of woman Vice President become this will create a good relationship between the US and
So as he takes over as the 46th President of the United States of America, Joe Biden will have to hit the ground running. Massive challenges, not just on the foreign policy front, but also on the domestic front. And many argue he is inheriting the divided states of America and not the United States of America. Coronavirus pandemic and the economy remain the biggest challenges on the domestic front as he begins the task of now uniting the United States of America.
America has got a new captain. Joe Biden, one of the youngest to become senator and the oldest to become the president, has the task cut out. He has inherited a divided America. A divide that was there for everyone to see during Donald Trump's rule. The latest instance, the raid on Capitol Hill, when thousands of pro-Trump, white, supremacist rioters stormed the US Congress. Trump's open support to the far right during his presidency has isolated the country's black community. The anger that came to a head after George Floyd's death at hands of a policeman. The new Captain America will have to be more a healer than a superhero. And Biden knows that. He has pledged to heal America, bridge the gaps, and unite the country. The most immediate challenge is coronavirus. The world's most powerful nation has proved to be the weakest against the invisible enemy. United States has seen 400,000 deaths, the highest across the world. The Biden administration plans to expand vaccinations. His first executive order will be to make masks mandatory in federal buildings and interstate travel facilities run by the federal government. It might not add to much, but sends out a strong message from Washington, which under Trump was living in denial. The next challenge Biden faces domestically will be to fix the economy. The job losses in US triggered by the pandemic has rendered thousands jobless. In addition to checks of $1,400 per person and expanded unemployment benefits, Biden is seeking $30 billion to help struggling households. Under Trump, the US withdrew to a shell. Biden is likely to break out. Biden's biggest challenges, however, are at home, where he seeks to bridge the social divide that grew under Trump. In doing so, he also needs to win the confidence of the red voters. Bureau Report, India Today.
They will find the way.
Joe Biden has created history. He is the oldest president of the United States of America at the time of swearing in, and he is third time lucky. He tried twice before and didn't succeed. This time, America voted for him, as the Democrats say, in large numbers, 7 million more votes than the Republicans. Of course, a bitterly contested election, and in these elections, Joe Biden will have his hands full. He has the huge task now of uniting the people of the United States of America, the economic crisis, and the coronavirus pandemic.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. With almost half a century on the national political stage, Joe Biden is all set to achieve a decades-long dream of becoming the President of the United States. This wasn't Biden's first presidential race. In fact, this was his third. He first tried in 1988, but dropped out after allegations of plagiarism. He ended his second attempt in 2008 after garnering less than 1% in the crucial Iowa caucuses. Instead, within a few months, Biden embraced a new position.
Let me say it as simply as I can. Yes, I accept your nomination to run and serve with Barack Obama, the next President of the United States of America.
Known as middle-class Joe, Biden boasts of a record 4 decades in public office.
God bless you all.
First elected as a Newcastle County Councillor in 1970, he became the 6th youngest senator in American history when he was elected to the US Senate from Delaware in 1972. Later, he went on to be elected to the US Senate 5 more times. By the time he ran for 2020 Democratic nominations, he was the most recognizable face, boasted of a previous White House experience, and was seen as the front-runner. His personal life, too, touched a chord with the American public. Shortly after he won his first Senate race in 1972, Biden lost his first wife, Nelia, and a young daughter in a car accident. He famously took the oath of office for his first Senate term from the hospital room of his toddler sons, who survived the accident. Decades later, he faced another personal loss when his now 45-year-old younger son, Bo, succumbed to brain cancer. What could have broken a man didn't deter Biden. Instead, he gained considerable reputation as a kind, relatable family man who could lead well.
The best Vice President America's ever had, Mr. Joe Biden.
In the past, former President Barack Obama called him the best Vice President America has ever had. Biden's 8 years in the Obama White House allowed him to lay claim to much of Obama's legacy, spanning from accessible health care to stimulus package during the financial crisis. And in these unprecedented times, Biden sought to capitalize on his experience as a long-time Washington insider to run a successful campaign which cast him as the dependable and seasoned force in an increasingly chaotic world. Joe Biden will be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. But what will a Biden presidency spell out for America and the world? The answer will be known when the first decisions of the new POTUS starts making its way out of the Oval Office.
I sought this office to restore the soul of America, to rebuild the backbone of this nation, the middle class, and to make America respected around the world again, and to unite us here at home. It's the honor of my lifetime that so many millions of Americans have voted for that vision. And now, the work of making that vision is real. It's a task, the task of our time.